Hello fellas. Welcome back to Top 5 Choices. This is Haley from Top 5 Choices, and I hope you all are doing good. In today's video, I am going to do a detailed review and pick the top 5 best HP laptops, 2022. After doing proper researches, we came to the conclusion that meets the best in terms of overall. Kindly leave a like if you find this helpful, and I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications if you haven't. We will be also providing affiliates link to purchase from Amazon. Kindly use it for best offers and purchase from anywhere in the world. We'll be back with more videos. The HP Pavilion Aero 13 looks sleek and slim, but that's nothing compared to how it feels. This beauty comes in at a sweet 2.2 pounds, making it feel like a mere paperweight in my hands. It suits the minimalist aluminum hood with the glossy HP logo stamped in the center. Opening her up revealed a neat, compact keyboard deck with a smooth glass touchpad on the bottom and a fingerprint reader just beside it. Meanwhile, the bezels on the display greeted me with their oh-so-thin curves. At 2.2 pounds and 11.7 by 8.2 by 0.7 inches, the HP Pavilion Aero 13 outclasses its competition in weight alone. The Asus ZenBook 13 OLED, 2.5 pounds, 12 by 8 by 0.6 inches, Lenovo ThinkPad X13, AMD, 2.8 pounds, 12.3 by 8.6 by 0.7 inches, and Dell XPS 13 OLED, 2.8 pounds, 11.6 by 7.8 by 0.5 inches, are all heavier than the Aero 13, despite most of them being thinner. For such a light machine, the HP Pavilion Aero 13 features an impressive number of ports. On the left, you'll find the HDMI port, one drop-jaw USB Type-A port, one USB Type-C port and a headphone jack, while the left side sports the power jack and one drop-jaw USB Type-A port. The HP Pavilion Aero 13 lasted a whopping 10 hours and 27 minutes on our battery test, which sees it continuously browsing the web over Wi-Fi with the screen set to 150 nits of brightness. While 10+ hours on a single charge is impressive, it can't match the ZenBook 13, which lasted a ridiculous 15 hours in the same test. However, the Aero 13 did surpass the XPS 13, 8 hours, and the ThinkPad X13, 753, while the HP Pavilion Aero 13 features only an integrated AMD Radeon graphics chip. Gaming isn't completely out of the question. In fact, the Aero 13 is more competent than many ultralight ultraportables when it comes to playing games. The Omen 15's 144Hz anti-glare screen is plenty bright and colorful. HP rates it for 300 nits and 72% coverage of the NTSC gamut. It also offers wide viewing angles, so the picture never washes out. The panel lacks support for frame rate smoothing technologies such as G-Sync or FreeSync, but these are rarely seen outside of much more expensive gaming notebooks. The Omen 15 also does well in connectivity by offering 4 USB ports, 3 Type-A and 1 Type-C, all version 3.2 Gen 1 supporting 5 gigabits per second signaling rates, HDMI 2.0A and mini DisplayPort video outputs, an Ethernet jack, a full-size SD card reader, and an audio combo, headphone/microphone, jack. Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5 come courtesy of its Intel AX200 wireless card. One deficiency that the Omen 15 shares with most gaming notebooks in this price range is a lack of built-in biometric features, such as a fingerprint reader or face recognition webcam. The ho-hum image quality from its 720p webcam is also status quo. As laptop screen bezels have shrunk, the Omen 15 screen is about as wide as the laptop itself, so has the available width for keyboards. Rather than cram in a number pad, HP included a desktop-like cluster of navigation keys and, gasp, full-size arrow keys in a most productive use of the space. Gamers out for flashy looks might bemoan this Omen's white-only keyboard backlighting, as some gaming notebooks in this price range offer customizable RGB colors. However, given the lack of customization here, I'd argue that white is preferable to the red that has been overused on gaming notebooks. Before we leave this area, note the tiny perforations above the keyboard. They could pass as speaker grills, but they're just decoration. The speakers actually face horizontally from either side of the palm rest. The Bang & Olufsen tuned sound is surprisingly full and enjoyable. The HP Spectre X360 14 arrives with a brushed metal design that's available in several color combinations. The 360-degree hinge, which allows the screen to flip back completely, turning the HP Spectre X360 into a tablet-like device, feels solid and reliable. The right-hand side is engraved with the word Spectre, a nice touch that further cements the HP Spectre X360's overall premium feel. In terms of connections, you get an audio in jack and full-size USB port on the right. The inclusion of a full-size USB port is a nice touch for such a thin and light laptop, plus 2 USB-C ports, a microSD port and a physical webcam kill switch on the left. The latter allows you to turn off the webcam when it isn't in use. It's a great feature for people concerned about their privacy. It's definitely a big selling point, and that, along with the full-size USB port and microSD slot, show that it is possible for a thin and light laptop to incorporate multiple connections without compromising design. It certainly puts the 2 USB-C ports of the MacBook Air, M1, 2020, and MacBook Pro 13-inch to shame. Open up the HP Spectre X360 and you're presented with a bright and vibrant screen, surrounded by extremely thin bezels. This gives the device a modern look, while keeping the overall size of the laptop down. It's another case of a Windows 10 laptop looking more stylish than an Apple MacBook, something both HP and Intel will be pleased to learn, and is yet another reason for Apple to consider updating its MacBook designs. The keyboard is large and enjoyable to use, with the keys offering decent travel. They're also backlit, so you can comfortably use them in the dark. The touchpad is nice and responsive. It's wider than you'd expect on a 13-inch laptop, providing a bit more room to move your fingers. There's also a fingerprint scanner to the right of the touchpad for logging into Windows 10. Similar to HP's provision of ports, the company has found a way of cramming a large keyboard and trackpad into a small body. It's a seriously impressive design feat, and means the HP Spectre X360 doesn't only look good, it feels good to use as well. As many of the best HP laptops prove, the company can make some stunning devices, and the HP Elite Dragonfly G2 is another prime example. It looks gorgeous, with a blue metallic finish and silver highlights that scream premium. The 2 large hinges of the Dragonfly G2 stand out, but in a good way. Highlighted in silver, these chunky hinges allow the display to flip 180 degrees backwards, turning the laptop into a tablet-like device. They feel sturdy and well-built, so you shouldn't have to worry that they will break. No matter how much you use the laptop, that sturdiness extends to the overall build quality of the HP Elite Dragonfly G2. The metal chassis feels like it can easily withstand being carried around, and even a few knocks and bumps, but at the same time it's thin and light, weighing less than 1 kilogram. Where metal isn't used, ocean-bound plastics, reclaimed plastic that might otherwise end up in our seas, often are, which is a nice touch, with the environmental impact of our tech purchases becoming an important consideration for many. With dimensions of 11.98 by 7.78 by 0.63 inches, 304 by 198 by 16 millimeters. The HP Elite Dragonfly G2 impressively thin, but it comes with a decent array of ports that certainly puts the MacBook Pro 13-inch M1, 2020, to shame. You get 2 Thunderbolt 4/USB 4 Type-C ports, which are also used for charging, a full-size USB-A port, a HDMI 2.0B port and audio jack. Having full-sized USB and HDMI ports is particularly welcome, especially as HP pitches this as a productivity and business laptop. It means you can plug in older peripherals, or hook the laptop up to a projector, monitor or TV, without needing to carry around an adapter. The Dragonfly G2 is also proof that you don't need to sacrifice connectivity and convenience for a thin and light design. The NV13 doesn't break the boundaries when it comes to design, but it does look good. It's made from aluminum and features an unfussy, sleek body. You don't get fancier features like RGB LEDs, but the HP doesn't look out of place when lined up alongside the Dell XPS 13 and Apple MacBook Air. It's got reasonable connectivity, too. The HP serves up 2 full-size USB ports that are cleverly hidden behind drop hinges. There's a USB-C port that offers power delivery and 10 gigabits per second file transfers, and there's an audio jack and a microSD card reader. On the inside, there's dual-band Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5. Extra USB-C ports would have been welcome, and the USB ports could be faster, too. There's no wired internet, and while the HP does have a webcam, it doesn't support Windows Hello for easier log and build quality is acceptable for everyday use, but this is another area where the HP is ordinary. The base flexes, the keyboard deck bends a bit, and pushing the rear of the display causes a little desktop distortion. It's not a disaster, but a sleeve would be prudent if you regularly take the HP out. And about the NV13 is 17mm thick and weighs 1.3 kilograms, which are fairly ordinary figures too, not bad, but easily undercut by competitors. The keyboard is on the softer side, and that means the buttons are comfortable and quiet, ideal for long typing sessions. They're impressively large and they've got a clear font and a bright, crisp backlight.